What's going on, everybody? So today I just want to react to another RFK Jr. video that he just posted a few days ago, just about how he can, or about how he's essentially feared by the powers and the corruption that be, because he wants to make actual change. So let's just have a look here, and then we'll react to it after.
Over the last 5 years, our country has become something unrecognizable. Journalists have exposed a massive censorship complex. Federal agencies like the FBI, the IRS, the Justice Department, and even the Secret Service have been weaponized against political opponents. We're subject to constant surveillance. The government wraps itself in lies and secrets. Corruption is pervasive within the regulatory agency and the halls of power. There's only one thing that can turn this all around. And if you thought I was going to say that it's me, you were mistaken. That's not something that I can do alone. But if enough people want to reclaim our country, I can be your instrument. I'll be the sledgehammer that the American people will wield to smash apart the corrupt merger of state and corporate power. But I can only do that with your active support before and after I enter the White House. And right now, what you can do is to invest in my campaign. Donate whatever you can. And I promise you that I'm going to redeem the trust that you put in me. And together we'll show that we, the people, can take back our power.
So that's a pretty interesting video. Now, the one thing I want to address first is what he said at the end. A lot of people seem to have issues with individuals paying for presidential campaigns. Why do we have to donate to these rich politicians? Because they don't have enough personal money to go through the millions of dollars it would actually take to run a campaign, with all the plane tickets, with all the rallies you have to hold. You got to pay prices to take up spaces and book these events. Not or most politicians don't have the money to fund it all themselves, and even the ones who do, like potentially Donald Trump, still got donations. Now, the problem with donating to a presidential candidate is that most donations come from big corporations. So Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, I'm sure there's companies in the military industrial complex like Lockheed Martin or Raytheon who probably donate to their campaigns. Major financial institutions donate to these people's campaigns. And when that happens, they give them so much money, way more money than they need, by the way. And so these politicians know that if they don't play ball with the people who are donating to their campaigns, they're going to pull the funding, give it to their opponent, and they'll get what they want from their opponent. These guys don't care if it's a liberal, a conservative, a Democrat, or a Republican. They're just looking for someone to play ball. So what RFK Jr. is doing here is he's getting corporate, or not corporate, but small donations, mostly from people like you and me. Some people have a little bit more money, maybe can do 1,000. Some people can only do $1 or two. But when we are the ones donating, that means RFK Jr., should he win, should have to serve us because he doesn't take huge corporate dollars, and he doesn't have any of these corporate crony friends who are going to try to manipulate what he wants to do. You want to know who's really in charge of the government? It's people who pay for their government. So the very small group of extremely rich people are right now the ones who are running the country. That's a huge problem because they're getting rich and we're starving. We need to be the ones to fund it so that we then own and pay for our government so that the government works for us. So I just wanted to make that very clear to start things off. Now, the other thing as well is that, when he talks about, it's not me who can help you, it's the American people, he's right. What we have to do is understand that we are the employees. Now, we can only be the employees if we're funding the government. So it kind of ties into the whole donation thing as well. But it has to be enough Americans who are angry and just fed up with the two-party system, or the uniparty, you might as well call it, and they want change, and this is the perfect guy to do it. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it many times more. He's the best presidential candidate in my lifetime, and it's not close. So When he says he's going to be the sledgehammer, yeah, he's going to be the sledgehammer, but we are the ones who have to wield it. We are the ones who have to pick it up and slam it down on the corporations and the corruption. Not literally. I'm not trying to incite violence. I'm just saying, like, figuratively speaking, he needs to be the sledgehammer. We need to wield it. And he's absolutely right. We need to take back. I'm Canadian. I'm not American. I don't get a say. But one of the reasons I like promoting him so much is I know that there are Americans who are listening to me right now, and I'm doing everything I can to try to convince as many people that this is the best option. I understand people may like Vivek Ramaswamy or they like Trump. I don't see how anyone could still like Biden, but let's be honest, the Democrats are going to push Gavin Newsom. Very, very likely. There will be people somehow who will support that guy, even though he's ruined California. But they're going to push him very hard, especially through the mainstream media. And there will be the sheep, a good percentage of sheep who will choose him. First of all, some of them will actually like him, which is insane. But a lot of people will choose him over Donald Trump. Some people will even choose more RFK Jr. But if your choice is RFK Jr., Trump, and Gavin Newsom, and you don't like both people, you have an option to go in the middle now. We didn't have that in 2016 or 2020. There were other candidates, but not as. I mean, they were not. No one even talked about them. RFK Jr. is the guy with the best chance to be the independent. He's polling better than Ross Perot did in the 90s. And in the 90s, Ross Perot got 19 million votes the first time he ran. No electoral votes, but well, let's be honest, it looks like RFK Jr. is going to get a lot more than 19 million votes and probably some electorals. We need to keep pushing for this guy. We need him to be the sledgehammer that he wants to be, but we have to yield it. And if we don't, and we let another 4 years go by, I don't know how bad things are really going to get.